Abel AUM here, and this is the start of a new video series. Wanting to do this for a long time, and we're going to give it a shot. So I'm going to start teaching you guys guitar, and I'm going to teach you a method that is kind of self-discovered. It's very similar to the caged method, if you guys have heard of that before, but in my opinion, it's much better than the caged method, and I can go over the caged method if you guys are interested, because it's always a good auxiliary, but this method is better, in my opinion. So, to begin with this method, what you're going to learn is that the open chords, like E major, and D major, C major, D minor, etc., these can be translated directly into chords that you can take on the entire neck. Now, you might already know those, like, for example, the E major. If you were to move the nut here and use your pointer as a nut, you can slide that chord shape up. So that's E major, and there's F major, G major, A major, B major, C major, etc. So I actually want to use this chord shape first as our starting point. So this guitar tutorial will be useful for any level you're on. If you're a beginner, then you may have questions about some of the theory, and I'm happy to basically give other videos about that. But if you're intermediate, you'll already know all the chords I'm going to show you, and what you're going to learn is what the actual method is. And it's going to help you to solo on the entire neck, play all the chords on the entire neck, and it's going to help you transition from one chord to another and one key to another very, very simply. And it makes you basically sound good. The goal to playing guitar and to soloing, for me anyway, was to sound really, really good. I wanted to make sure that I always hit the right note. Okay, so without too much theory, let's go over why this method came about. Let's just say I'm playing an A major chord, right? And the A major chord, this is one way to play it. Another way to play it would be right here. And I showed you guys that a moment ago, going up from E major, F, G, A major. Now, historically, if you're learning how to play guitar, you learn the chords first, and then you might learn some scales, like the pentatonic, right? That is the minor pentatonic first position. That scale would not work on the major A chord. So when you keep learning the different scale positions and the pentatonic, you learn the second position is this one right here. So that would go very nicely over the A major chord. However, there are still some notes in the pentatonic scale that have more dissonance than you might want. So in order for a solo to sound good, you want to have notes that have more consonants, meaning you're playing the tonic, the fifth, the other tonic, or sorry, the octave, and maybe you're playing the third. As far as the fourth goes, it has some dissonance when you're playing the root note, the chord, and the second has some dissonance, and basically a lot of the notes have more dissonance than you want. So you're really only dealing with three notes that sound pretty good the entire time. So those three notes are, again, the tonic, the third, and the fifth. And right now, triads are very popular online. For good reason. Triads are what you're going to be learning, but you're going to be learning much more than just triads, okay? But you are going to be learning to play those three pivotal notes during solos, and you're going to be learning how to do sweep picking and arpeggios, as well as scales. So, again, the pentatonic has a few notes in it that don't sound perfect all the time during a chord. And as far as the diatonic scale, you know, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That one has even more notes that have more dissonance, and you might not know which notes to play. When I first started soloing over other people's guitars in college, they'd play a simple chord progression. Maybe it's a 1-4-5 progression. So if I'm playing G major, that's 1, D major is 4, and E major is 5. So I'm playing do, 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 do. And I would try playing the minor pentatonic on top of it, and it didn't sound very good at all. And I tried playing the major pentatonic on it, And certain times it sounded good, certain times it didn't. Because when you go to the other intervals, the fourth and the fifth of that chord progression, of that key, more dissonance pops up. So what I'm going to show you is a way to make certain that you're playing those great notes, the triads, in each chord as you're moving from one chord to another in a key. And once you know the foundation, the chords, the triads, then you're going to learn when to put the pentatonics and the diatonics on there. So you're also going to learn about modes. That's not for now. Right now I'm just introducing the technique. Now what I'm going to do is begin teaching you this method using a very specific chord progression. Now I chose this chord progression because of the ability to use it to actually make a song, but also utilize all the different open chord positions on the neck. And we're going to be using basically Creep by Radiohead. So to play Creep by Radiohead, historically, you'd be playing D major like this. And you go to the B major, and C major, and C minor. Now, that's great, but that's not soloing at all, and all you're doing is playing chords. What I want to show you is the first one, G major. Again, I already said the diatonic scale has too many notes. The pentatonic scale has too many notes if you want to sound good the entire time. So what you want to do is you want an arpeggio shape that allows you to play single notes at a time, going from low notes to high notes. What the human ear likes is large intervals between notes. You like to hear notes going from very low to very high at a nice fun pace, a nice speed, and then when you change to another note, do it again. The human ear just loves it. I don't know how to explain it without showing you, but so the first position, we're going off that classic E major chord. We're going to do it in G major for the song Creep. And here's how you play, okay? You put your middle finger on the 3rd fret, just like if you're going to play the pentatonic or the diatonic, right? Pentatonic, we're going to get to later. So you play that first finger there, and then you use your pointer to play the 3rd here. So it's now, the next one, you slide up to the 5th fret and play that one with your ring finger, and then the 5th fret on the 4th string with your pinky. Okay, so you're doing. What you're playing is the tonic, the 3rd, the 5th, and the octave. Then you go to the 4th fret of the 3rd string, and then bar these two with your pointer finger. And to finish it off, you hit this 5th fret. So what you're doing is a nice, slow, easy, clear. Make sure your notes ring clear. Alright? If you're going to go backwards the other way. Now, for those of you who do not like the look of this, there's an alternative way to play it. You can play it with your pointer finger here and your pinky finger here. The reason I don't do that, and let me say first of all, this note here, the 3rd, is the same note as here. It's a 3rd, a major 3rd. But all the other scales you're going to be playing, like the pentatonic and the diatonic, they're all starting with your pointer or your middle finger here on the 3rd fret. That's why I choose to play this arpeggio first shape with my middle finger here, and my pointer finger doing the 3rd instead of my pointer finger here and my ring finger doing the 3rd. Okay? So I just want to point that out. The first position you're learning is this. I'm sorry. Alright? So, what you want to do is practice doing that shape over and over and over again. And if you want to, you can have Radiohead playing in the background. But when they start doing the chord progression changes, you're going to have to slide that position up to the next chords. So, essentially, you're doing this. Instead of playing, you're just playing the chord shape with the triads. And then if you want to, you can go up to the B major. C major, And then if you want to, you can also play the C minor. That is very much shaped like the minor pentatonic. You're playing 1, 4, and then 3, 3, and then 1, 1, 1, 4. All right? And I think this first lesson is getting long enough, so I'm just going to point out that position is based off the E minor open chord. All right? So if you were to move that nut again, you're going from E minor, F minor, G minor, A minor, B minor, C minor. And just the same game as before, in the C minor, you have the minor pentatonic and the minor diatonic. And those will come into play, but not yet. What I want you to focus on is the first position of the arpeggio. Sorry. And then if you want to play along with Radiohead, you can also slide up to the B here. And then the C. And then the C minor. Okay? So, but what I want you to learn today is just that shape. From the open chord E major, we're translating it to the G, and we're doing the arpeggio shape. And we're just sliding your hand up to the C here, and the C minor. Now, initially, this method does not look like much, but what you're going to find out very quickly here is that the key to the guitar is that you're going to learn how to do chord changes in the same place on multiple parts on the neck so that you can play the same song here as you can do here, here, and here. And you can have fun going back and forth, going from very high notes to very low notes very quickly, and the human ear just loves it. Just trust me, learn this shape, these two shapes, this one, and the minor. And it would behoove you to practice going the other way as well. And my biggest problem with guitar right now is I'm unlearning all the bad methods and instructions that I've received over the last 20 years of playing guitar. If I were to learn guitar today, this is the way that I would learn. It's going to be so helpful and amazingly quick for you that there is no other method that is better in my opinion. I haven't thought of a name of it yet. Basically, we're using E major, C major, and A major, and E minor, D minor, and A minor. So it's A, D, E, and A, C, E. And I can't think of any acronym that sounds cool or memorable for that. But instead of the caged method, this is a method that shows you how the chords change shape as you go up and down the neck and how to change from one chord to the next in the same position. It's very, very, very helpful. And just to give you an example, the G major to B and C and C. Well, I can play a G major right here too. And then play the B major, okay? And then C major and the C minor. So I'm going to show you all those chords later. This is the end of the first lesson. I hope it makes sense. I hope it's helpful. And please feel free to comment, ask me questions. Email at rectorarondale@gmail.com if you wish to. I think that's really all I have for this first video. As we continue to progress, you're only going to learn 6 chord shapes and 6 arpeggio shapes, and from that, you're going to be able to solo over the entire neck in every single chord, which is pretty cool. Alright, that's all. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Take care. Bye.